Hey everybody, welcome back to another unboxing. Today we are not doing not one, not two, but three of the Final Fantasy VII Bring Our figures. We'll start off with Yuffie because I've had her since November. So it's only fair to go ahead and open her up first. So, go ahead and get her out here. Now for those that don't know, in the original Final Fantasy VII game, Yuffie, along with Vincent Valentine, were technically optional party members that you could get in Final Fantasy VII. In Yuffie's case, it was more of an encounter, so I believe it was after the beach. I forgot the city. San Lagoso, I believe. Something like that. I'll be sure to put it in the video, but how do I open you again? Ah, that's right. Looks like it's been a while since I've opened these things. There we go. Alright. But, boy, they really layered on the plastic, didn't they? She'll try to steal from you. Of course, you'll fight her, and if you manage to beat her, she'll go through this little nonchalant stuff of introduction and everything like that. And then everyone will just kind of walk away, and then she just kind of joins in on her own accord. So, yeah. Man, they've really put in a lot of plastic. Like, I get that they wanted to keep other parts of the character from being scratched, but this is a little excessive, I feel like. There we go. That's got her fixed up. Of course, you have her with her hands, which I thought was interesting that obviously this is part of the hand and everything, but I wasn't expecting it to be attached. And then, of course, we have an optional face that can be put on. We have her weapon right here. But I think in terms of Yuffie, I think I want to, try to get it, wouldn't say exactly, but at least somewhat close to how it looks on the box. So, and of course we got the little stand here. There we go. That actually looks nice right there. She's actually the smallest of the group. I mean, next to Cassis whenever I get him, but she's not bad. Next up, we're going to do Vincent Valentine now. Vincent is also another optional character that can be attained in the game. Although, strangely enough, while Yuffie is the boss, technically you fight a different boss in order to get a key to get into Vincent's, I don't know what you call it, his sleeping quarters, really, but it's inside of a freaking crypt, so don't know if you want to just call it a graveyard or what, but it's underneath the Shinra building. Not the company building, but the manor, rather, Shinra Manor. There we go. Now, because of how Vincent is, doesn't really have an optional face. But obviously he has different hands. And of course, his weapon of choice, which is guns. There goes. Yeah. But much like the others, he is also caked in plastic as well for some reason. You know, speaking of Vincent, I don't know if anyone has ever played it, but if you ever get a chance to play a game called Final Fantasy VII Dreads of Cerberus for the PS2, highly recommend playing it. It's actually really good. Heck, how much plastic do you need to put on him? Alright, finally got all the plastic off of him. Now to fix up his head, because, unfortunately, as I was taking the plastic off, he had a little extra hair piece attached to him. So, thankfully it doesn't look like it's going to be that hard to put it on and stuff. He's a lot skinnier than I thought he would be. But then again, he is a skinny character, but at the same time too, I was not expecting him to be this skinny. You know what I mean? Strangely enough, though, they got the hand to what you need to put the gun in. And unlike Yuffie, his is actually pretty easy to put on there. Now then, we're going to get the stand and get him fixed up. The more I think about it, the more that I'm thinking about actually wanting to switch claws on him. Huh. Okay. I guess that makes sense, but at the same time too, it's just kind of weird to have a extra attachment, or rather extra piece, per se. Don't normally pose them like this, but due to the fact of how his cape is and everything like that, I am going to have to do it this way. But in all honesty, it's not bad. Takes some getting used to and figuring out and everything like that, but for the most part, I think it works out. Now, I know some people might think, oh, well, you could put it over a cape and everything like that, but really, I feel like that would be a little bit hard to manage and stuff. Like, yeah, you could, but would that be wise? Would it? Plus, the way they got these stands made and everything like that with the multiple holes and stuff, I don't see any reason not to do it differently, you know? I have to say, in terms of getting him fixed up and ready, he's probably one of the more simpler ones. Because like I said, his hand was already chosen for the gun part. Don't have to change that any. The only big issue is, like I said, the hair piece. Because it was wrapped in plastic and it easily came off. Outside of that, though, really nice. And now, for the final one for today's unboxing, will be Cid Highwind. Cid was literally the last of this particular one. I technically ordered him with Vincent, but for some reason, unlike Vincent, Cid got pushed back by an extra month. Otherwise, I probably would have had this unboxing already prepared last month. But because he got pushed back up until today, naturally, he had to be, unfortunately, pushed back. But I'm very excited to have Cid here. Where Cid has an optional face here. Don't care much for the optional look. So I think I'll stick with his original face. And dadgummit, he's more coked in plastic than the two of them put together. What the hell? What the... Okay, Square, you didn't do this to Kingdom Hearts. Why are you doing this to Final Fantasy VII? Well, actually, I've answered my question. Just say the name, Final Fantasy VII. And there's your answer. There's your reason. It's because of it being Final Fantasy VII. But still, this is a lot more plastic than I think most people are willing to deal with on a daily basis. I'm sure depending on the collector, they may just opt to, like, you know, take it apart a little bit at a time and do it that way. But really, in all honesty, I see no reason to do that. Just because, you know, it's easier if you just wanted to display it or whatever. We also have optional hands, but surprisingly, only 5. Not even 6. Which I find weird. I do want to get it to where it's like, on the box. So, let's see. Which hand would it be under? Be under here. Now, obviously, they would only do it, to keep within the teen rating and everything like that, but I do kind of wish they had him with an optional, like, cigarette or cigar or whatever he had in the game. Because for those that don't remember, or don't know, he had like a little cigar that he would kind of pull out whenever the victory theme came up. So, at first, I was actually kind of wondering, how did they get it to look like as if his hand was in his pocket? And then I just remembered, oh yeah, the hand can come off. So what they probably did, I looked. You see that little hole right there? I don't know if you can, because of the lighting, but... there you go. Well, somewhat, but in that pocket, there's a little hole that this can stick into. So it makes him look like he's got a little, something in his pocket, like he's putting his hand in his pocket. Which, I ain't gonna lie, I kinda like it. I kinda like that ideal, you know. You don't see that in a lot of figures, where they try to make them more articulated and stuff like that, you know. Give them little features and stuff. You know, if you have someone like, say, Vincent, he's pretty standard. Yuffie, the best you can do is probably with a little expression. But with Sid, you make him look like as though if he's got his hand in his pocket. I like that, actually. I really do. I think that's cool. That's really awesome. Like, I knew I would like Sid, but I kind of like this figure a lot better than I thought. Huh. And really, the pose is perfect, actually, in all honesty. Like, I have no complaints. The position is, like, on par of what I wanted. Alright, so that's got all 3 figures unboxed. I have to say, I'm really glad that I've been collecting the Final Fantasy VII Bring Our figures. Specifically, these versions, because I know technically they got the remake version out and everything. They're kind of being released alongside these, but I like these versions because they're representative of the PlayStation 1. Now, I'm not saying the remake is bad. No. I love the remakes, but if I had to pick which one I like the best, I like the PS1, but I also like these as well. These stylized characters look awesome. And they done really good. Yeah, they're coated in plastic, and in some ways, depending on the character, they're a little bit complex to put together and stuff. But outside of that, they still keep looking good. And as time goes on, my Final Fantasy VII Bring Art collection is getting filled up. So guys, that's going to be it for this video. You just saw me unbox Sid, Vincent, and Yuffie. If you want to see my previous unboxing, I did one of Aerith and Barret, and then the very first one of the Final Fantasy VII, which was Cloud and Tifa. I do plan on getting Cassis as well as Red 13 when they get released eventually in due time. Now, of course, they do have Bring Art styles of the Turks and Rufus, I believe is, I keep forgetting his name. I believe it's Rufus, the new president of Shinra. And then they also have Sephiroth as well as Zack, but I don't plan on getting those. I plan on just getting the main party members, because I figured you know, you just want the main party together, so it just made the most sense. Now for Final Fantasy collectors, maybe they want to go that extra mile, it's up to you. But for me, I'm just sticking with the party. They look cool on their own. So, anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.